A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously.
When she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down, and it looked like some gay act that was going on, he got on the phone.
We've all clocked the headlines, the sketch artists in court, the viral footage of Diddy in cuffs. But hold up, what if the real jaw-dropper in this entire saga isn't the charges on the table today, but a tragedy everyone was pushed to move past? Right now, away from the cameras and whispers, something big is quietly coming together. Something that could completely flip the narrative around Kim Porter's death. And listen to this, it's being driven by the two people closest to the truth, her son, Quincy Brown, and the one artist Diddy was never able to rein in, 50 Cent. This isn't some throwaway doc meant to trend for a week. This is a deliberate move, mapped out over years, landing at the most brutal possible moment. Diddy is behind bars, his power base collapsing, his circle falling apart, and now the two voices he allegedly kept quiet for years are standing side by side to ask what no one else dared to. Was Kim Porter's death in 2018 ever really just pneumonia?
He broke him, let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. So Cassie's story is Kim's story. Cassie's book is Kim's book.
Let's get one thing straight about what we're watching unfold. Quincy Brown, the son Diddy helped raise but never truly had under his thumb, has spent years moving with surgical precision, showing up to the trial but never rushing to his stepfather's defense, standing supportive on the surface, yet noticeably quiet when it came to the rumors circling his mother's final days. According to people in the know, that silence wasn't weakness, it was a calculated move. While Diddy's biological sons, Christian and Justin, were dragged into the legal chaos, named in lawsuits, snapped in handcuffs during those now iconic raids, Quincy stayed untouched. No allegations, no trending clips, just a calm, observant presence playing the long game. And now that Diddy is locked up, listen closely. The rules have changed. Sources tied to the project say Quincy has been working hand in hand with 50 Cent, the same heavyweight whose Netflix expose, Sean Combs' The Reckoning, rocked the industry earlier this year. But here's where it gets interesting. That documentary, as wild as it was, barely mentioned Kim Porter, a missing piece so obvious it had fans and conspiracy hunters losing their minds. Now we're starting to understand why. Quincy reportedly chose to wait, holding his cards until the timing was undeniable. And that time is right now.
Tried to persuade Netflix not to come forward with it. I think it's an interesting argument because what they're claiming is, Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, has had a long-standing, animosity against Diddy and sort of vice versa. And because he's at the helm, they're arguing this can't be taken seriously. This should sort of be seen as propaganda. And one of the things that Netflix hit back with was, yes, he's the executive producer. He doesn't necessarily have creative control. And
The stakes here stretch way past messy family drama. This is about a death officially labeled natural, yet one that never fully added up to the people who knew Kim best. According to records, she died from lobar pneumonia on November 15, 2018, after a sudden downturn that began with flu-like symptoms only 8 days earlier. No chronic illnesses, no substance abuse history, just an abrupt and unexplained collapse inside her Toluca Lake home, discovered when a family member found her unresponsive in bed. The LA County Medical Examiner wrapped the case in 2019, calling it tragic but not suspicious. But hold up, this is where the story starts to crack. Kim's final days were packed with inconsistencies that have lingered in her family's mind for years. She tested negative for the flu. She tested negative for strep. Doctors treated her with antibiotics, vitamins, pain medication, the usual playbook. And by November 14th, her family says she was actually getting better. Her fever broke. She was even well enough to have a massage that night, a detail that's raised eyebrows since day one. If she was fighting a serious lung infection, why was a masseuse brought into her home? Who signed off on that decision? And why has that person's identity never been made public? Then listen to this, the timeline itself. November 7th, sore throat. November 12th, fever. November 15th, gone. For a woman with no underlying health problems, that kind of decline isn't just rapid, it's statistically rare. And yet, the file was closed.
About 4 of them that knows everybody dirty secrets.
Enter Al B. Shore, Kim's ex and Quincy's biological father, and the first major voice willing to publicly question the official version of events. Back in July 2020, he uploaded an emotional video filmed the morning he learned Kim had died, pairing it with a caption that didn't leave any room for interpretation. I know for a fact Kimberly didn't just suddenly pass from pneumonia. That's some BS. That post didn't stay up long after Quincy reportedly asked for it to be taken down, saying it was triggering. But listen, Al didn't retreat. If anything, he went further. In later interviews, he suggested Kim had confided in him about fearing for her safety, sending cryptic messages in her final weeks, and feeling like she was running from something she couldn't fully explain. Then, in November 2021, he lit another match. He shared an old photo of himself, Kim, and Quincy, adding a caption that instantly sent the internet spiraling. "You would never believe what she went through," he wrote, before revealing she once told him, "Life imitating art, art imitating life. Now it all makes sense." The message was unmistakable. Kim believed there were patterns, connections that only became clear looking backward. And I wasn't finished. Just months after that post, he suddenly collapsed in his studio, suffering what doctors described as a mysterious multi-system organ failure that put him in a coma for nearly 2 months. He lived, but the timing raised eyebrows everywhere. Al had been outspoken about Kim's death, then he nearly died himself. When he finally spoke again, he didn't hedge his words. "I believe that's exactly what happened." Yes, without hesitation. When Fox 5 New York asked if Diddy or people around him were responsible for his medical crisis, he replied, "There was a bounty on my head."
Phone. Why would you take somebody's tablet or her computer? It was some foul play.
Now, jump to the present moment. Al's claims are no longer being brushed off as wild conspiracy talk. They're now part of a swelling wave of people demanding real answers. And Quincy? He's reportedly been gathering proof, contacting former insiders, and, this part matters, locking in 50 Cent's support for a project that could finally bring a reckoning. Because let's be real, 50 isn't some random filmmaker chasing clicks. He's the one who used his Netflix documentary to pull back the curtain on Diddy's empire, from the infamous freak-off gatherings to allegations of deep-rooted coercion. He's also spent years publicly needling Diddy, calling out his connections, while insiders say he was quietly stacking information on the one subject everyone avoided, Kim's death. So the fact that Quincy is allegedly partnering with him now isn't accidental. That's a message. This documentary isn't just about rehashing old whispers. It's about finally connecting the dots that have been right in front of us for years.
He's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run.
Let's connect those dots, because this is where things get uncomfortable. Start with the pneumonia ruling, low-bar pneumonia, to be exact. Yes, it's serious, but in otherwise healthy adults, it's rarely deadly and almost never within a single week. Yet Kim, just 47 years old with no known medical issues, was gone before paramedics even had a chance to revive her. Then there's the memoir, the one her children publicly labeled fake, the same one Diddy's attorney brushed off as a tasteless cash grab, exploiting a tragedy. But hold up, here's what doesn't line up. Several sources, including producer Chris Todd, insist the manuscript was real. They say it was stored on a hard drive and detailed explosive truths about her relationship with Diddy. Al B. Shore has gone on record claiming Kim's devices, her computer, her notes, vanished after her death, pointing to a possible cover-up. And he didn't stop there. He drew a chilling comparison, saying Miss Porter's missing devices, allegedly already part of evidence, unquestionably held proof that was deliberately hidden. He also hinted at something bigger, linking her case to the alleged removal of multiple high-profile artists, a cryptic comment that made industry insiders quietly nod along. Then there's the pattern. Heavy D dies at 44 from a pneumonia-related illness. Bobby Christina Brown found unresponsive in a bathtub, with her autopsy listing lobar pneumonia as a contributing factor. Brittany Murphy gone at just 32, her death certificate citing pneumonia, despite her husband insisting she was poisoned. Different stories, same medical explanation. And here's the part you won't believe. Every single one had ties, however indirect, to Diddy Hobbit. All of them left behind questions that were never truly answered.
His hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his, I guess.
Now bring Quincy into the equation, the son who was present the night Kim died, the same one who, according to reports, stayed close to Diddy during the early legal turbulence, yet never once stepped up to defend him publicly. This is also the Quincy who was noticeably missing when Homeland Security raided Diddy's properties in 2024, while Christian and Justin were photographed in handcuffs. At the time, whispers spread that Quincy was cooperating with authorities, that he'd quietly been in contact with the FBI. Those claims were never officially confirmed, but let's be honest, the optics spoke volumes. Quincy was moving differently. And if this new documentary is real, we're about to understand why. Insiders say he's been holding on to information for years, waiting patiently for a moment when Diddy could no longer strike back. That moment is here. With the mogul behind bars, his legal team in panic mode, and former allies flipping sides, Quincy's move isn't just daring, it's potentially explosive. Because if this documentary delivers what sources are hinting at, this isn't simply about reopening a single case. We're talking about exposing a pattern, a playbook, a system of control that, if proven, goes far beyond Kim Porter's death. It connects Diddy to a decades-long silence, intimidation, and endings that were anything but natural.
Really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck. During those years, you're still stuck.
And then there's the 50 Cent variable. The rapper turned mogul has never ducked smoke, especially when Diddy's name is involved. Their beef is infamous, dating back to the early 2000s when 50 openly accused Diddy of being behind the shooting that left him hit 9 times. For years, he's teased it, slick comments, diss records, and most recently, that Netflix expose that peeled back the curtain on the darker side of Diddy's empire. But listen, this time feels different. This isn't 50 firing shots from a distance. He's allegedly right there in the trenches with Quincy, helping mold a project aimed at answering the question that's hung in the air since 2018. What really happened to Kim Porter? And if history tells us anything, 50 never plays small. His last documentary featured unseen footage of Diddy plotting strategy with his lawyers just days before sentencing, clips no one even knew existed until they hit the screen. So if he's sitting on comparable material tied to Kim's case, this goes beyond storytelling. This is a controlled explosion. So where does that leave us now? Diddy is locked up, his attorneys insisting every allegation is fiction. His children, aside from Quincy, are still publicly backing the pneumonia explanation, but the fractures are obvious. Christian and Justin's names have appeared in lawsuits. The twins, Delilah and Jesse, have gone completely quiet, and Quincy, he's stepping forward. The real question isn't just what this documentary might expose, it's what happens after it does. Because if Kim Porter's death wasn't what we were told, if Al B. Shure's near-fatal collapse wasn't random, if this pattern holds true, then this story stops being about one tragic loss. It becomes about a machine, one that's been running in plain sight for decades. And if Quincy and 50 Cent truly have the evidence they claim, that machine is on the verge of being unmasked. The only mystery left is how wide the blast radius will be. Because once this drops, the debate won't be about whether Kim was poisoned, it'll be about who knew and who helped keep it buried.
Or didn't he? Well, if he didn't, he's got a lot to explain. Well, apparently what Diddy's done now, which is a very interesting thing, is he's on the offensive of sorts. That's right, Sean Diddy Combs has initiated a $100 million defamation lawsuit.
We've all heard the rumors about Diddy's infamous gatherings, the ones where careers took off, reputations got torched, and according to multiple lawsuits, boundaries were crossed in ways that left permanent damage. But hold up, what if those parties weren't only about influence and private favors? What if they doubled as the backdrop for something much darker? A recurring trail of vanishings and unexplained deaths that always seem to work out in one man's favor. Because once you start lining up Kim Porter's death with other high-profile figures connected to Diddy who died far too soon, what shows up isn't random, it feels organized. Heavy D, a loved rapper and former Bad Boy affiliate, collapsed in 2011 at only 44 years old. His death was blamed on a pneumonia-related illness. No autopsy was ever released to the public. Then there's Bobby Christina Brown, found unresponsive in a bathtub in 2015. Her case was officially chalked up as a tragic accident. Yet her autopsy, just like Kim's, listed lobar pneumonia as a contributing factor. And you can't ignore the chilling similarities to Brittany Murphy's sudden death back in 2009. Another ruling of natural causes that left her family and fans convinced there was more beneath the surface. All three had connections, direct or indirect, to Diddy's orbit. All three left behind unanswered questions. And all three shared one unsettling commonality. Their deaths removed potential liabilities. People who knew too much, saw too much, or might have talked if given the chance.
Of coming forward, they've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
Now let's follow the money, because this story goes way beyond justice for Kim or the other names linked to Diddy's orbit. This is about an empire built on silence and the financial dominoes that fall the second that silence breaks. Kim's alleged memoir, the one her children publicly called fake and Diddy's camp trashed as a shameless money grab, wasn't just a tell-all, it was a ticking bomb. People familiar with the project say it detailed Diddy's private business, his control tactics, and most importantly, his alleged role in keeping other voices quiet before they could ever speak out. Now imagine that manuscript dropping in 2018, before Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, before federal indictments, before raids on his properties. It would have ended everything. Instead, it disappeared, right along with Kim's devices, her notes, and any digital trail that could have backed up her claims. That's not random, that's a system. And if Quincy's documentary delivers what insiders say it will, this isn't just a fresh look at Kim's case. It's a financial and reputational earthquake that leaves Diddy buried under lawsuits, abandoned by sponsors, deserted by allies, and staring at nothing but legal bills and a legacy in ruins.
Flight where Diddy said to her, he testified that he showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm gonna put this video out. I'm gonna send it to your mother. And that's coercion. She testified to that. If the jury they believed her, that's coercion.
Which brings us to Quincy Brown, the real wild card in this whole saga. The son who didn't rush the moment and played chess while everyone else played checkers. The stepson who kept his mouth shut exactly when it mattered most. The one who sat in that courtroom during Diddy's trial, but never once stood up to defend him. The same Quincy who allegedly sidestepped the legal chaos while his brothers were dragged straight into it. People have been scratching their heads for years, asking why Quincy moved differently, why he never snapped back, why there was never a teary post or dramatic meltdown online. Now listen to this. The plan is finally visible. That silence wasn't heartbreak, it was calculation. Quincy wasn't only shielding his sisters, like some insiders whisper. He was clocking everything, stacking receipts, and waiting for the perfect time to drop the hammer. And girl, that time is right now. With Diddy sitting in a cell, his circle cracking, and his PR machine spiraling, Quincy teaming up with 50 Cent isn't just a creative collaboration, it's a straight-up declaration of war. Because hold up, 50 doesn't hand out favors, he runs plays. And if he's pouring his time, money, and name into this project, it's because he knows this thing is about to blow the roof off. The only real question left is how big the explosion's gonna be.
Specifically challenges allegations suggesting that Mr. Combs and his involvement in the 2018 of his former partner Kim Porter, whose passing was officially attributed to natural causes by the Los Angeles County.
We've seen this play out before. The fallen superstar, the brave whistleblowers, the documentaries that promise to spill it all. But listen, this time it feels different because this isn't just one man's collapse. It's about the whole system that had his back, the people who stayed quiet, and the ones who didn't survive to share their side. So here's the real question we need to ask ourselves. If Kim Porter's death wasn't exactly what they told us, who else was involved in hiding the truth? Who else had the receipts? And what happens when Quincy's documentary drags those names into the spotlight? Because trust me, this isn't the end of the saga. It's only getting started. And when the truth finally drops, it won't just be Diddy taking the heat. Everyone who played a part in keeping it buried will be facing it too. So tell me, do you think Kim's story is the one that finally topples the whole empire? Or is there still someone out there powerful enough to lock these secrets away forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're ready for the real story. And don't forget to subscribe, because when this doc hits, you're gonna want front row access. Stay alert, stay skeptical, and remember, when lies rule the world, the truth is the deadliest weapon of all. Catch you in the next one.